Hey everybody, TG Watkins here, and this is your Daily 5. All right, so a couple things I wanted to point out. So I just got back from Hawaii with my wife, taking a little bit of a vacation trip with that. It's always good to get away and take some time, refresh, regroup. And you know what? The timing on this worked out amazingly well. And I mentioned this because, so for my Moxie traders, the group that I manage with all the traders, subscribers, I was looking at this little bit of a pullback. Now I'm using the IWM because the IWM actually had the clearest signal on this pullback. And so just before I left for the trip, there was this little bit of a move up like this, and we were looking at this, and I said, hey everyone, I really think that the market's going to be pulling back. There's still this big gap here between price and the daily 50. And the thing that is really cluing me into this is that we have price here over the hourly 50, but notice that the Moxie indicator is below zero. That is an inverse trampoline move. It is a false long or it's a short. Just kind of depends on the setup. And so I was telling everybody, like, I think we should just go to cash. This thing's going to be pulling back. And you know what? It's a great time for me to just be heading out because I'm going to be away. I'm actually going to take a real vacation and not going to be in the markets. And that was just the perfect timing and the best thing to do, because then the market moved down for a few days and you can pretty much see what we've been dealing with since then. So perfect timing. Love that this inverse trampoline move set up beautifully. And you can even see that the Moxie price trigger right here fired right on time as well. So kind of at this point, we're just waiting for the markets to shake themselves out and figure out what they want to do. So that's been the one clear signal I have. And now we're just kind of hanging out waiting for the next something. But on that, the other ticker that I've been looking at and kind of waiting for was Tesla. Now Tesla, for the daily chart, I've been expecting kind of like the IWM, like the SPY, like we've been seeing what Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they have all pulled back to their daily 50s. And I'm watching Apple start to do that. And then I've been watching Tesla and be like, okay, when is this thing going to come back down? Now, it turns out they had Tesla Investors Day, which I wanted to wait until I was able to grab this screenshot this morning. And they, buy the rumor, sell the news, kind of looks like that, right? But what about the Moxie indicator? I have been talking to our simpler trading group, our options people, the Moxie people, the traders, and pointing out, like, kind of right in through here, I was like, this thing looks like it's about to top out. I don't think there's going to be more upside, because you could also see, look at the Moxie indicator, just falling off a cliff as far as this goes. And then you get the double top. And then you know what? It's just taking forever to roll over. As I said, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, they've all rolled over and moved down. I figured, okay, Tesla is the last one to finally do it. And you know how it did it? Right here with another inverse trampoline move. It's the same setup that I showed you on the IWM, days apart, a week apart, 2 weeks apart, something like that. And so this is where you just kind of look at everything individually, and that the Mox indicator is helping to guide you. And if nothing else, telling you to be a little bit safe, like, don't go buying this just because price has been holding up. It looks like it's got relative strength. It looks like price is going to get back over and stay over the hourly 50. Like, no, the Mox indicator is telling you that this is a false long. Now, if you want to short it, that's another thing, you can do that, but it's definitely saying don't be long. And based on my other patterns, I'm expecting price to continue to move down here, just like I said, with all those other big names starting to pull back to their daily 50s. So yeah, inverse trampoline move for the win on those two. So let me come over here and kind of change things a little bit. GDX. Now, I've been talking to the Moxie subscribers about the dollar and kind of looking at an area where maybe the dollar looks like it could be topping out and might be setting up for a bit of a pullback, which means gold, GDX, silver, precious metals should start to lift. Now, part of the thing that was cluing me in on this, I'm looking at the monthly chart and the weekly chart, which you can't see here, and they all pulled back to some support. The other thing I'm looking at is that this was very, very oversold on the daily chart. I mean, you can just even see right here where price got outside of the third ATR and really put in a pretty big gap here between price and the moving average. So that was just kind of like one of those like flush out low points where typically you see things reverse after that. So I'm kind of noticing this, and so then what I'm doing is I'm looking at the lower time frames, trying to figure out, okay, when is this thing going to start to shape up? Well, I'm noticing that price on the hourly chart continued to move down, 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 but notice that the Moxie indicator started to move up. There is some positive divergence. Okay, it was on a higher time frame. It's telling me like, okay, pressure starting to build to the upside, and now what we're doing is just kind of waiting for that trigger. And on the 15-minute time frame, you can see here that the price was doing a very good job following the 15-minute 50 down. So that's why you didn't go long earlier than that. And then what happened? Pretty clearly, you can see right here, price started to get over and then engage with the 15-minute 50. And if you look at the Moxie indicator, it was making new highs and really nice and tight. The two Moxie indicators looked like one line. That means they agree with each other. That means it's a strong setup. And you can see right here that is where it found the low, did the washout little move, and then started to engage with that moving average and started to follow it up. Now, this is just the first move, okay? This is a very quick trade to take. So I really wouldn't be taking much more than this because I would be expecting some sort of pullback. It is still not confirmed on a long trend for a swing move. All this was is I was able to kind of find the local bottom in through here and find a quick little move to the upside. Very short term, don't expect much out of it. You take your little win on that and then you move on. Or if you've been right in the short, you need to start recognizing these signals to where, you know what, you better thank the market that your short trade worked out really well, and you need to recognize when you're getting a little greedy or a little bit long in the tooth, and this thing is likely to reverse. So whether you trade the long side or the short side, it's pretty important to be recognizing these things so you can either take action, whether you need to be in or be out. All right, so another one that is very similar to this happens to be FXI, KWEB, basically the Chinese stocks and ETFs. I gotta say, just the way that these patterns are setting up look almost identical from GDX to FXI. Okay, so same basic idea, same basic principle. And you can see that, we had a really nice big move, I think January, even before December into January, and then it topped out and pulled back. This is about a 50% retracement from the low to high if you guys want to go take a look at your own charts. So that's kind of the first thing, like realize, okay, 50% retracement. The other thing is you'll notice that this washout low looks a lot like that GDX thing I was showing you on the daily chart. Price went outside of the 30 ATR, gapped off 8 EMA, just looked too good on the short side and likely to reverse at some point. The other thing is, look at this, price down, Moxie indicator higher. This is the kind of stuff that really the Moxie indicator excels at. The point is, like, how can, the question you ask yourself is, how can the Moxie indicator be putting in a higher low when price is literally just falling off a cliff like that? Well, what it's trying to tell you is, yes, price is moving down that way, but internally, energy and momentum is starting to go the other direction, and you better be careful if you're on the short side. Now, if you're trying to look for a long, this stuff is great. You're looking for this. You want to see these positive divergences because it's telling you that even though price is going lower, the indicator is going higher, and it's telling you that internally and that energy and momentum starting to change direction. And then on top of that, I pointed this out to the Moxie traders and said, look, price below the 15-minute 50, the Moxie indicator above zero on this time frame, that's a trampoline move. And you can even see that there's a little double bottom right here on the hourly chart, and sure enough, pop, turn the other way. And if I noticed this morning, I think it's up a little bit further. So again, quick little moves. These are not long-term swing moves. We don't know if this is definitely the bottom, but it is a bottom, and you can trade these things. Or if you're short, this is how you know when to get out of your shorts and keep yourself safe. So then another one kind of on that, since I was talking about GDX, I was looking around. Now, not all of the gold names look great, but this gold miner, BVN, actually looks pretty good. We've got the Moxie price trigger firing here. There was a double bottom right in through there. I call that elf shoe. And then you can see here, there's the double bottom. There's your positive divergence. Again, like what I showed you on FXI, you'll notice that price went down on this pullback. Notice how the Moxie indicator kept going up. That is the kind of positive divergence stuff that you need to be aware of and looking at, and actually making yourself drool if you're on the long side looking for something like that. That's the kind of positive divergence you want to see. Now, this was earnings, so you have to decide if you want to trade earnings, but the chart set up beautifully despite earnings kind of being in the way. Here's your Moxie price trigger. Here's price holding the moving averages. Here's price also holding the moving averages, and look at the Moxie indicator on that. Everything looked amazing on this, and then it's set up for earnings and happened to just pop on earnings. Now, I wouldn't say, I don't think you can exactly go chase this up here, but since this had a really super clean setup, maybe go look for some pullback, constructive pullback into support, and we'll see if this can continue moving up after that. All right, so that's your daily 5. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is TG Watkins, and if you guys are interested in the way that I trade, I actually just put out a bull bear market update yesterday. Did a really nice, little over an hour presentation. If you guys are interested, come check us out. Moxie, and then Simpler Trading, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. We're going to start putting it up on the social medias. So yeah, go take a look at that. And then, of course, you come over here and find out more about where my trading room is and all the stuff that I put out. But really, come check out that webinar. I think you guys will find it interesting. I go pretty deep with it and a lot of information there. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys at the next one.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.